My name is Enrique St. Laurent. I'm part of the Ballroom Advisory Board for the Baltimore Coalition. We're here tonight because we're presenting the Ballroom Peabody Experience. We're collaborating with the Peabody Institute to present an elaborate event. What we're doing tonight is we're going through the different categories and we're telling you exactly what we're looking for with the assistance of Paul, who's going to tell us about the book, and then we're going to come up and tell you exactly what we, the Ballroom, is looking for. Thank you.
So, the first category that we had, since we are in the Peabody Library, and Peabody has such a long history of education and things like that, we also, with this project, really wanted to document the history and everything that involves ballroom in Baltimore City. So with that, the two categories that I'm about to start off with definitely is here to showcase our work. First, Virgin performance is very simple. Bring it like your favorite performance legend. The person does not have to be from Baltimore, they could be from anywhere. They just have to be a bona fide performance legend. You could recreate their look, their moments, and bring it like that performance legend. Virgin runway is bring it like your favorite runway legend. So luckily for the people at home, we have a couple runway legends right here that you guys can choose from. But you also can pick whatever legend that you choose to, whether it's from Baltimore or whether it's from anywhere. And this is just a way that we are allowing the youth and whoever is walking Virgin Runway or Virgin Performance to actually showcase what they know from ballroom, because in order for you to achieve, you gotta start from somewhere. Thank you.
The next category I'm about to discuss will be best dress. Best dress for tonight is called the Peabody Experience. And what we're looking for is a person who is being creative and they're coming from a time which is the Gilded Age or the Victorian Age. And what we're looking for that night is a person that is representing a socialite, pulling inspiration from the movie Great Gatsby would be one movie you can pull from. Another movie you probably could also pull from would be Marie Antoinette, which came out in 2006. The Great Gatsby came out in 2013. You can also maybe a collection from Christian Siriano, but we want to see opulence that night. We want to see you bring it as a person of prestige, wealth, power. This was a time when we had advanced technology being explored. We had textile. People were coming into power with money, and we want to see a part of that tonight inside the library with your fashions. So if you have anything that resembles that time, does not mean you have to be dressed during that time. You can mix new with old, but we want to see an old aristocrat look with your common day fashion.
Okay, my name is Paul. I'm the librarian here at the Peabody Library. The next category is open to all face. And this was a fun one because it was inspired by a book, right? Don't judge, the common saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, sometimes books were just beautifully bound with nice Moroccan leather, nice gilding to highlight the edges, right? Make it look very fancy. But you don't want to judge a book just by its cover. And so, for example, these wonderful books, they're called 4-edge books. And if you bend them just right, look what appears. You get a wonderful, little painted scene on that 4-edge of that book, okay? We have about 200 of these in the library. Sometimes they're people's faces, which is great for this category. So there you go. And Keith's going to tell us what we want you to do.
So, and the reason this is such a great idea for face. You see, if you look at the book, you kind of don't see anything. So you just think, oh, it's just a regular book, whatever. So it's kind of like with the face category, don't judge a book by its cover. The person needs to come out completely, their face concealed. We should not know who you are, or we should not see the beautiful masterpiece that is laying beneath whatever that you have covering it. Now, once you reach the judges, the same way with the book, once you hold it together, as Paul has shown us. I hope I'm doing it right. But then once you get to the judges, that's when you'll see the beautiful masterpiece.
Big reveal.
Yes, the big reveal. So don't judge a book by its cover. Just because they walk down the runway looking regular, don't mean that they're not hiding something magnificent.
Okay, great. Thanks, Keith. The next category is open to all sex siren. And when we heard the word siren, we thought, wow, there's a wonderful myth. And this is a wonderful publication in German, highlighting, trying to capture the art on Greek vases when archaeology and scholars were really studying this material in the late 19th century, early 20th century. This is from 1910. And there's the wonderful plate here showing the famous episode. Just carefully here, thanks. Showing the wonderful episode of Odysseus trying to get home after the Trojan War. He's a Greek trying to get home to his wife Penelope, and he has to pass the island of the Sirens, sex siren. But he wants to hear that song. And so in order to hear that song but keep going, he has his men tie him to the mast so that he can hear the song of the sirens but not be seduced by it. And that's how he escapes their spell. And so
what we're looking for sex siren, plain and simple, as he told you in the illustration, it's kind of like for the male figures, it's going to be a bondage look. Very robes, ties, loincloth, just a very sexy bondage effect. Now, what we're looking for the female figures is a temptress look. Think feathers, bugle beads. You can even think of a mermaid as well. So what we want to do is we want something for the female figures that will hopefully capture Odysseus. So that's where it's male versus female.
Hey guys, our next category is Old Way. Old Way is really simple. Old Way is a homage category. And so with that being said, we reference certain people. You don't have to bring it like these people, but these are the people that we reference. We reference Willie Ninja, Stevie St. Laurent, Paris Dupree. Those are a couple of people that we reference. What we want to see on this night is we want you in all black from head to toe. Shoes are included, so all black from head to toe. No other color, all black. That's for Old Way. The next category is going to be legendary performance with an understudy.
That's me. I'm going to introduce this book with you, Marco.
All right.
I'm Joey. I work here at the Peabody. So I'm going to introduce this book, Grammar of Ornament, by Owen Jones. It was published in 1856, and it's a pattern book. So Owen Jones brought together patterns, grammar of ornament from different cultures throughout the world. There's Greek, there's Roman, there's Egyptian, there's everything you can imagine. And the architects who created the Peabody Library here drew inspiration from this book. So for instance, you can look, these are Greek key patterns right here. And if you look up here on the banister, you can see the Greek key patterns right there in gold at the very bottom. And one more example. These are Greek Pom Hat Patterns, which were inspired actually by Egyptian Pom Hat Patterns. You would see this on a Greek vase, for example. And again, if you look up here, over there, up at the banister, you'll see the same kind of palmette pattern. So take it away, Marco.
Okay, so to break it down for you guys now, there are references here. If you guys can get as close to these patterns as possible, that would be great. Like for instance, where is the, like here, like you have patterns that are like Versace and things like that. If you could get close to that, that would be good. But basically, we want you and your partner, the legend and the understudy, to come with a look of a pattern. We want a pattern in your look. So you and your understudy will both have patterns on your ensemble. So that's it. Just come with matching patterns. Try to get as close to these as possible, and that's what we like to see. So thank you. The next, oh, mine are back to back. The next category is open to all runway. Open to all runway. You are what you read. So open to all runway, you can draw a reference from this here library here, or you can draw a reference from any library. So what we want to see is creativity. We want to see creativity. You can bring any item found in the library. So that means chairs. Your reference can be chairs, tables, post-it stamps, stamps, newspapers, magazines, paper clips, flashcards, markers. Your look can be made of anything that you can find in a book. Even the librarian, but we really don't want to see the librarian unless she's over the top, but you can bring anything that's found in the library. So that is what Open to All Runaway is calling for. It is not broken down. There will be only one winner, one trophy, and you guys will just knock it out. So anything found in the library. It's like a Project Runway unconventional challenge, so to speak.
So the next category is Realness with a Twist. And so the book that inspired this category is called Animal Locomotion by Edward Muybridge. Thank you. And this is a wonderful book in the collection. And what Muybridge did, this is Philadelphia, 1887. And what he did was he tried to, this is the early days of the camera, and so he put cameras on timers, and as the animal, horses, people, kids playing leapfrog, you name it, as the animal passed in front of that camera, he was able to capture each consecutive movement of that animal. And it was amazing what they were able to figure out, right? They could really understand the anatomy of a horse, for example, when it's running and in movement. This is when they really actually discovered that a horse is actually floating at any given moment when he's in full gallop. You can't see that with the naked eye, but with this stop motion photography, we might call it, you can actually observe that happening. And so this book inspired the idea
for our Realness with a Twist category. Now, what we're looking for Realness with a Twist is an animal with a feminine twist, i.e., you can do a lion with barrettes, you can do a pussycat with a glittering collar, you can do a tiger with a tutu, etc., etc. But what we're mostly looking for is a show-stopping move. Everybody's complaining about performance kind of blending, looking the same. That night will be your night to separate yourself from the pack, so to speak. Okay? Great to see you then. Thank you.
Okay, the next category is female figure realness. And London's going to help me introduce that one. And London had this wonderful suggestion at one of our meetings of the interesting relationship and dynamic between Catherine of Aragon, who was the wife of Henry VIII.
Yes.
But Henry VIII falls for Anne Boleyn. And so this is a wonderful book in the library. This is from 1828. And this is just a series of portraits, deluxe portraits, we might say, by Hans Holbein. He was a German artist, or no, sorry, not a German artist. He starts work in Basel, Switzerland. He ends up in London and paints the court of Henry VIII. And so this beautiful book, printed in 1828, has these wonderful pink pages of these engravings of Hans Holbein's original paintings. And this one here shows Anne Boleyn, and they're naming her as queen here, right? So this is after Henry has divorced Catherine of Aragon and married Anne Boleyn. And then, of course, we know what happens to Anne Boleyn. It's not too happy of a picture. But London will explain what we're expecting from this category.
So I'm excited about this category. I'm a big fan of medieval reading and stories, and especially the story of Henry VIII and the Tudors. And the category, which is about Catherine of Aragon, who was a Catholic, and Henry VIII became a Protestant and broke away from the English church because he wanted to marry this Anne Boleyn woman who he was an adulterer with. It was a part of, she was a side chick, as we would like to call now. She was a side chick. But not only was she the side chick, so was she. And it is also rumored that her mother was his side chick. And it was also rumored that Anne Boleyn was really his daughter. So there were a lot of rumors going around the palace and around. See, during that time was a lot of mess going on, a lot of messiness. So Anne Boleyn, and so this category, she want to bring it sophisticated because Catherine was very subdued. She was a Catholic woman. So you need to bring it kind of just more covered and more subdued. It does not have to be in a big plumed skirt or some medieval type of garb, or you can come in modern clothes. Just come really classy versus trashy, sophisticated versus seductive. And so Anne Boleyn would be in a more, Catherine might be dressed like this, but Anne Boleyn might, take and unbuckle this entire shirt up in a knot, and have a mini skirt on. So that's the category.
Great. Thank you, Lemon. Our next one will be introduced by Michael.
Its next category is Butch Queen Realness. And so Butch Queen Realness is broken down into 4 subcategories. You guys are all familiar with them. So pretty much schoolboy realness, you have to do a school project. You have to have a large trifold with facts about the Peabody Institution, the library, the institute. So you should have facts, you can do a report. As long as the information is on a large trifold, you're good to go. You can wear anything you'd like to wear. The most important thing is the large trifold with the facts about the Peabody. That is schoolboys. Let's see. Thug realness. Thug realness is in all black. Once again, all black. Sneakers, hat, whatever. All black. And your shirt must say George Peabody, which is the founder of the George Peabody Library. It can be in any color, but from head to toe, all black, George Peabody, any color on your shirt. That's that. Executive. I like this category. Executive, oftentimes there's an argument in ballroom about what an executive looks like. And so in ballroom, the standard is a suit, a briefcase. Well, tonight, we don't want to see that. Tonight, we want to see your interpretation of an executive. So if you're an executive that's a surfer and you come with your surfing gear, it doesn't matter as long as you're showing us that you're trying to take over the Peabody Library. So show us a different type of executive. We don't want to see suits and ties and briefcases. Lastly, we have, and it's not even here, but I know about heart, Pretty Boy Realness. Pretty Boy Realness, you have to come in either plaid or polka dots, but you cannot use the color black. So your plaid can be colorful, it's I don't know what, but it cannot have any black in it. Shoes do matter, so your shoes cannot be black. Your plaids and your polka dots and whatever your pattern is, it has to be colorful because we're asking for you to be a well-dressed man in these prints. So that is Butch Queen Realness for the night.
I'm back again.
Here's the...
Okay, wow. So they actually found it, great. And when we were thinking about titles, I was like, why not bring up this, where we were planning during Black History Month, why not bring up a black author? And none other than Maya Angelou, one of my favorite authors. And I chose for a female figure performance, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It's a story of a precocious young Maya trying to find her way and stamps, and she goes through a lot of troubles that a lot of people similarly go through it growing up, and she fought through it all. And so I want you to bring it tonight in a feathered, a feathered look, or you could come caged, which means seductive, kind of like bondage when I say caged. So you could have like restraints on for the category because it's Why the Caged Bird Sings. So it's feathers, or you could come in something that's kind of restrained, whether it's like the, a long time ago, Erica Kane did a look where she was kind of in a straitjacket. That's another idea of being in bondage or caged. I know why the cage bird sings.
Thank you, Lindy. Now the next one is Butch Queen, Vogue Femme. And the book that inspired some of those ideas is this one here. This is a wonderful edition of Milton's Paradise Lost. This is from 1688.
Is it for real? The real book is?
Milton's Paradise, this is an early edition because Milton's Paradise Lost was first published in 1667. This is 1688. And this is one of the earliest illustrated editions of the poem. And so this is a wonderful copper plate engraving showing the former angels, right, that are actually devils, right, battling it out with angels in heaven. And so there's this epic battle that happens in Milton's Paradise Lost. And Milton famously says he's writing this to justify the ways of God to men, right? It's a very religious poem, but it's one that also taps into these primeval epic struggles, if you will. And so, Marco, please introduce the category. I mean, sorry, Sebastian. Please introduce the category.
Tonight, for Butch Queen Vogue Femme, we're referring to the battle between heaven and earth, heaven and hell, and we have angels and we have devils. So tonight, what we're doing, we want you, if you're soft and cunt, we want you to represent all white coming from heaven. And all white meaning everything all white, but we don't want you to come in jeans, all white jeans or all white t-shirt. We want you to be more creative. We want you to pull inspiration from a angelic place, a place of the light. So as an example, if you want to use all white, a white jacket with white helmet, white crown, white spikes, anything that's representing a battle between good, but you're getting ready to fight the dark, which is in all black. And the people that are wearing all black tonight, that will be representing dramatics. And if you are a dramatic person that night, you will be representing the dark side. And the dark side will consist of hell. In hell, we want to see variations of maybe a crown, a broken crown or a broken wing, black, anything black, but we want you to be very creative. We want actually this category to represent a true battle inside and outside of this book itself. So we will see angels and we will see devils fighting one another, their kids fighting one another, as for that Butch Queen Vogue Femme category.
Good evening, how's everybody doing? Tonight I will be discussing the do's and don'ts of the Peabody experience here at the Peabody Library. Due to space limitations, it is a private event. So the ball will be capped at 350 people and we will be counting at the door. Upon exits, I believe that we will be taking wristbands back to kind of represent the flow of people going in and out the building so we can keep our counts accumulated. But during the ball, we are asking that there is no glitter, no spray paint, anything that would mess up the floors, anything that would mess up a library book. We are asking that you do not bring those items into the facility. And if you're actually caught using any of those items in the facility, you actually will be escorted out by security. We also have police that will be here that evening. So we are asking that everybody comes with their talent and they leave the drama on the outside because we're here to have a good time. If you actually look around the library, it's actually a space of opulence and we want everybody to come here to have a good time. There is absolutely no smoking in the building at all. We are asking that everybody comes to the event sober. We're going to enforce the fact if you come intoxicated, we're going to ask you to be removed from the premises. Also on the outside of the building, there's actually no congregating outside. Down the street is Grand Central, which is going to be considered an overflow space. You can go down there, relax, have a good time, socialize with some people that's inside the ball, that's going to be outside the ball. There's also going to be some other available spaces you can go to congregate. The dressing room, I believe, is going to be back here, right? So that is the designated dressing room behind everyone here. There is absolutely no dressing in the bathroom. Absolutely no dressing in the bathroom. Everybody knows me for doing ballroom security. I come to protect our community and its patrons, so I want everybody to come here with a level head to have a good time for the first. Hopefully it's going to be a continuation at the Peabody. So we want to come and show love, and we want to show that the community is together. So everybody knows my ballroom hashtag. I'm just here for security. So I'm hoping that everybody comes in peace and they're ready to have a good time in a place of opulence here at the Peabody. See you there.
Walk, salad, walk, salad, walk, salad, walk, serve, walk, salad, walk.